Good morning. Good morning. Happy terrific Tuesday. Can't close one of my windows. Want to talk today about it's very easy to let your life deteriorate into making a living instead of designing the life that you want. So, what I mean by that is it's very easy to get out of school or get out of high school or college or whatever and get a job and start working at your job or even, self-employed, it can be the same, like, actually Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki has this book called The Four Quadrants, which, talks about employee, self-employed, investor. I forget how it goes the last one, but in any event, self-employed, the owner of a business that's self-employed, where you have to work in it, is basically you own a job. So you also have a job. So instead of deteriorating into just making a living, and how do you know if you're doing that? Do you wake up happy to do what you're doing every day? That's a good question. Do you wake up every day? And I contemplated that a little bit this morning before I was going to talk about this. And I love real estate, and I love a lot of aspects of real estate. But there's been times in my real estate career where I just didn't like it anymore. It's not that I didn't like it; I didn't like what I was doing. It got boring, you know, stagnant. Uh, a lot of things. That's when you're not designing a life and you're not moving forward. You just know, you just feel it. You're just not happy. Um, so if you're not happy, you're working a job, you're self-employed, and it's just the same stuff. How do you change that? Well, first, you got to think about it. You got to be aware of it. Hopefully, you know, woke you up a little bit. How do you feel when you woke up today after Memorial Day weekend? Are you excited to make stuff happen? I'm excited. I got to tell you, I'm like, man, thank God everybody's back. I've been waiting, you know? Um, and I've had times in my life where I felt like this. And now I've had times in my life like, man, I just couldn't wait for that holiday weekend. Um, and you're trying to like just forget about the Monday through Friday. I hated Monday through Friday. All I could wish for was the weekend. I've said this a couple of times. My mom used to say, like, that's really sad. Like you're throwing away 5/7 of your life if all you're doing is like, can't wait for Friday, can't wait for the weekend. So anyway, if you are just doing the same old, and not thinking about your future and designing a life, whether that's like, hey, I have a job. And listen, jobs and businesses where you're self-employed, that is a job that you own. Um, they have their purpose. Like when we start, especially like, if you're first generation or if your family never had money, what do you have to trade for money? You only have your time. So, like when I started, I had to trade my time for money. That's the only thing you got, you know? And look, that serves you for a while. But the problem is, we all start trading our time for money and then getting a new car and getting a bigger house and getting married and then having kids. And then all of a sudden, you're just trading time for money and there's no extra. And there's no vision of like, what am I going to do extra? The easiest thing for people to do, and I'm the real estate doctor, is if you have a job or you're self employed, buy a rental property. It's the easiest thing you could possibly do to invest. Well, I guess you can invest in the stock market too. You can invest in the stock. That's easy, But if you're going to do that or crypto, you need to do it consistently. You don't need to do a lot of money. If it's $100 a month, do $100 a month. If it's $100 a day, $100 a day. And I do think it's easy to to get into real estate slowly without giving up that. And actually, it helps. It helps to have a job when you're trying to get loans and this, that, and the other thing without really. I'm not telling anybody like, hey, you should stop exactly what you're doing, quit your job, quit your business, and just start, become an investor, invest in a startup, create. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, have you sat down, thought about like, am I designing the life that I want? What is the life that I want? How can I get to the life that I want? You know what? If real estate is part of it or investing, it could be slow and methodical. It could be, hey, I'm gonna keep this job. This job, I have an extra $10,000 a year. I'm gonna put that $10,000 in the stock market, and based on it doing X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna have what I want when I want. Maybe that's it. Um, maybe it's I'm gonna buy one rental property a year. But whatever it is, my wake up call today to you is don't let your life deteriorate into just a living, a 9 to 5, the same old monotony, not any excitement. Excitement comes when you're growing. We were meant to grow. And if you're not growing, I'm telling you, you're dying. That's why, as a civilization, we need to continue. We need to explore space, go to Mars, do this. Space is the next frontier, man. There's so much opportunity in space. You got to learn how to do the things in space, all the different materials, all the different like we talk about. Oh, there's rare earth materials. Well, there's rare earth minerals. There's minerals on the moon, on asteroids. Anyway, going on a tangent. My point is, as a civilization, we need to grow. If we have not grown, you know, I think really in the last 40 years, we need to get back to that. I mean, we got the internet, quantum physics, that kind of stuff is really going to change the world, AI. But in any event, if you're not growing, you're dying. If you wake up and you're not happy, ding, 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 it's an alarm. You're making, you're deteriorating into making a living, and you don't want to do that for the rest of your life. You want to design the life that you want, and the best time is not one day, but day one. So hope that helps you guys. Have the best terrific Tuesday of your life. Thanks, guys.